Welcome to this video. Um, Actually, I'm recording this video in a response to a question I received from one of the audience. He was asking about some details around the structured references. Structured references we use inside the tables or when we are going to extract or deal with information stored inside Excel tables. So the objective of this video is try to understand how we can use structured references with table. So the following 7 items we are going to discuss how we can, even if we have a table, we can still use the normal cell reference. And then if we are going to write structured reference inside a table, how it looks like. And if this is from outside the table, is it different or not? And if we are doing the same from outside table, but we need to have absolute reference, like the dollar sign that we are using in the normal Excel formulas. And what will happen if we copy this down? And again, what will happen if we copy down and then right or left? And what will happen if we use the mouse to drag? Because actually there's some difference, and this will be discussed in item number 5. And then how we can update and refresh our data if we received new information and we want to update our database and calculation, how this will happen. Actually, I'm always stressing on this because this is a great benefit of using tables rather than normal Excel range. And finally, how we can extract a total from the table. So let's jump directly to the Excel sheet. I have here a raw data table. This is it contains the sales order number, month. I have only 2 months, Feb and Jan, and I have the governor rate in which we sold the items, and the product itself for the items. It's stationery, so it's some stationery items, and the quantity in each sales order. This is already a table. Go to design ribbon. You can see that I give it a meaningful name, sales order, and I'm advising you that every time you use a table, you have to give it a meaningful name, especially in formulas you are going to use the table. So it's not good to see something like table 1, table 2. It's not helpful. So, and I have another table here, a small table again. I give it another name, good name, price list, and this is just the list of the products and its prices. So we'll start with number 1, how we can do normal cell reference formulas to extract or to summarize data from Excel table. So this is a typical sum if formula, sum ifs actually. You can see I have the sum range here and the criteria range here, and I have the criteria here, and by this straightforward normal cell reference I can just get summary of this table by product. So the sales of the quantity sold for each unique product from this table. So it's straightforward. I'll not spend a lot of time here. So let's go here in this table. I have the product, I have the unit price, and I'm doing a special discount or a discount on each item. So I need to calculate the discount here before processing further. So I'm going to write this formula inside the table, as you can see here inside the table. So what I'm going to do, I'll just do very normal steps like doing the same in other normal ranges, but let's notice what will happen or what will be written. So I'll press equal, and then I'll point the cursor into the unit price, and then I will multiply by 0.9, so I can get the 10% discount on each item. Then I will press on enter. So it's the same, similar steps. However, if you look here, what's written here is totally different. There is no cell reference. It's the normal cell reference should be H18. However, what's written here is a square bracket, and inside the square bracket at, and then unit price, which is the header of the column or the name of the column. So okay, let me try to write it without pointing to the cell. So I will press on equal again. Then instead of moving the arrows left, I will just open a square bracket. And you can see here, I can see the at here, and I can see the list of the headers, the names of the headers. If I press tab when I'm pointing to add this row, again it's disappeared and it's written here, and I have three options. I will go for the unit price. I'll select by the mouse, and then I will press tab. Okay, then I will close the square bracket, then I will use the asterisk to multiply by 0.9 and then press enter. So it did the same exactly. From here you can see I can autofill, like here I just select overwrite all cells in this column with this formula, so it's autofill till end of the table because I'm working inside the table. But notice that the same formula written in each cell. I'm just going down, and I'm noticing no change here in the formula bar. So there is no H18, H19, H20. However, Excel did the calculation correct. So this at told Excel that please, at each time you move down, select the correct value, correspondent correct value, and multiply by 0.9. So we are not required to understand how, but this is how it works. So if you use at and then the name of the header of the column, and then you put it inside the square bracket, Excel inside the table will understand exactly what you want to do. So let me try to do the same, but from outside the table itself. So I will start with the normal operation. So I will do equal, and then I will move my arrow to H18, and then I will press on asterisk and multiply by 0.9, press enter, give me the same. But look now what is written here. It's a bit different. You can see here, this is price underscore list. This is the name I gave, as I showed you, this is the name I gave to this table. So he started, because I'm outside the table, he started the formula with the name of the table. Then he opens the bracket, and then add, like what we did last time, and then the unit price, and I multiply by 9. So let me try to write it myself. So I will press on equal, but this time I'm outside the table, so I cannot do the open bracket. Nothing will happen. So I need to start with the table name. I know the name, which is price underscore list. Once I type price, he gave me some options. There's some functions including price, but I need the table, and you can see the table icon is just here. I highlight by the mouse and then press on tab, so it's written now here. Then I put the cursor inside the cell, and I will press open square bracket, and again it gives me the at. I just double click or tap on at, and then I select the unit price, then I close the bracket. Don't forget, once I did this, you can see the cell now highlighted. Then I can multiply by 0.9 and press enter. It gives me the exact same result. I can just drag or copy down, and it's identical columns, the same. I can do it using only the square bracket from inside, and I have to start with the name of the table from outside the table. So let's now let's now try to work on absolute reference. Now this is not absolute. I'm just dragging, and the cell is changing, although nothing written differently here, but Excel understand because I put at. So Excel understand that when I'm moving down, you have to find the right value corresponding to this row, and you continue calculation. But here I'm going to repeat the same summary report here, but using the absolute reference, or using the structured reference, sorry. So I will use some ifs as I did in the table upstairs, the report upstairs. So I will write some ifs, go down, click on tab, or press on tab, and now he asked me for the sum range. Let me start from the quantity. You can see here he selected E3 because I'm pointing to E3, and then I hold shift and go down and select. What happened? He didn't select the range. He select sum ifs sales underscore order, open bracket, open square bracket, and quantity. And you can see here quantity is the header of the column. Okay, so let me continue. Now I need to identify the criteria range. So instead of just selecting, I'll try to do it myself. So again, I will type sales to try to find sales orders, and you can see Excel helped you. There is sales order table. Open square bracket to find the right column. Yes, I need the product. However, I'm not going to use row this time because I'm selecting range, not a specific cell. So I'm going to double click on product. Don't forget to close the bracket. Now I have the criteria range. I need to put the criteria one. Criteria one should be here, book, copy book, sorry, in G28. And then I'm going to close the brackets for the parentheses for some ifs and just click on enter. And here you go. Try to copy down. It's working perfectly. You can see the result is identical. So let's now try to put some complication on what we did. So we need to have two criteria now, the product, and then I want to report by month. So I'm going to, and not just reporting the total quantity, I'm now trying to calculate the revenue by product. So actually the formula will not be very different from the sum if. So I will start with the sum if, because in all cases I need the product here. So I'm going to copy the same formula. I'm going to start with here just to shorten the amount of writing that we want to do. So, but because I'm going to drag to the right, so just I need to point here to K28, and because I'm dragging right next and dragging down, so I need to just make sure that the K is absolute reference. So I'm going to write $ before K, and then I'm going to add extra criteria for the month. So I'm doing the same. I'm going to write the name of the table, tab, open square bracket. I'm going to select month, close bracket. Now we need to put the criteria reference. So I'm going to select here, and because I'm doing copying down later, so I need to make sure that 27 is absolute reference. I'm going to write $ before here. If I click enter now, so now I have the quantity sold for copybooks in January. So next I want to find the correct price and multiply, and to get the revenue. So I'm going to edit here again, multiply by VLOOKUP, open a square bracket. This time I want to look up on this table. So I would going to select the table here. And once you select the entire table, see if I'm not selecting the entire table, it's giving me a cell reference here. But if I expand my selection to the entire table, it will give me the table name. And this is exactly what I want. I want the table name. But before, sorry, I forgot to, I need to just refer to the cell that in the VLOOKUP, the lookup value first. So, and again, because I'm going to drag right, I have to put $ here. Okay. And then now I selected the right lookup value, and I pointed to the correct table, and then I will write comma, and I need to have the price, the discounted price actually, which is in third column. Then I have to select false or 0 for exact match, close parentheses, and if I press enter, I have now the revenue calculated. Let's try to copy down. I think it's working okay. I can copy down, or I can drag down. Actually, copy or drag is okay. But now let's try to drag to right and see what will happen. Oops, it's not working. Look here. If you look here, you can see I started with the quantity as my criteria, my sum range. But if I move here by dragging, it's selected the first. Remember that the quantity was the last column here. Quantity was the last column. But when I drag, it selected the sales order number, like here, and this is the first. So it's moving. It's not absolute. But something very weird now. If I just deleted this and I selected this column and I copied and then I select the two columns and pasted, now it's working. So it's very weird. If you're going to copy, it's working. Dragging is not working. Remember that we have only 2 months, so March is not there's no data for March. Zeros is okay, and I have my checkpoint here because I did a recalculation here, and you can see it's 0, so it's working correctly. So if you're going to drag right and you write the formula this way, you have to copy and paste. You cannot drag because it will not work. However, Excel is giving you another trick or another way that you can use to make sure that when you drag, it's working correctly. So it's just a special way of writing this. So I'm going to edit inside here. I have no issue with the VLOOKUP. The problem here is the absolute references to the columns inside the sales order table. So what we need to do is to, instead of having one bracket here, you have to have 2 square brackets. And after you selected the quantity once, you need to select it again. So you put colon and then open a square bracket again and select quantity again and then open the 2 square brackets. You have to do the same for products. Another square bracket and then colon here and then open bracket. You select product, close, same for month. You open a square bracket here, colon, open a square bracket again, select month again, close and close, enter. Now let's remove the old formulas and then we use this one. You drag down, no problem. You drag right, no problem. It's working. If you copy also, it will work perfectly. So don't tell me why, don't ask me why, but this is how it works. So now we have extra how we can update, and this is the part that I'm really like, So if you go to March here, I have data for March, in the sheet March. I just select and Control C for copy. I go for raw data. I have here, this is an option for the table. It gives you the totals, but I need to update my data, so I need to start with the first empty row. So it appears like here, but actually it's here. So if you copy here, no problem, because the table will expand, and also the total row will go down to the new position automatically. So don't bother yourself, just copy over the total row. And if you go up here, you can see everything is updated, all the formulas updated, all references updated, and your data just inside the your report. So the last one is if I want to just highlight or just get the total, because I want to have a checkpoint here, so I need to get the total downstairs here. So I'm going to just press on equal, and I'll scroll down. I go to E135 and just press enter to see the total. Here is my total, but look at this. It's not writing E135, it's writing something different this time. Again, the name of the table and the double square bracket, but here is the hash total, then comma, then quantity. Quantity is, as far as we remember, is the header of the quantity column. So it's again now pointing to something different inside the table, and if you add or delete any records, this will not change, meaning that he will get the correct and the updated reference here. You can see I deleted some rows and still looking at the correct correct total. And if I try to write it, it's also easy. If I try to write it myself, let me just delete this. I'll try to type sales order. This is the table, and then open double square bracket, and you scroll down, or you take your arrow down, 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 down up to hash totals. Then you can tap, close the first square bracket, and then comma, open square bracket, and then you get the quantity here. Tap, close, close, and then minus the total I have here, and then press enter. It's 0, it's correct. And by now we reached the end of this video. I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you very much for your time, and see you in next video. Bye.